comment, rate, subscribe. Merch in the description. Check out our Facebook pages. We got marketplaces you can buy and sell stuff on. So this is my Kale Catastrophic Blow Burn deck. 1 copy of the leader. 4 Sane Onslaught Kefla. 4 Desperate Odds Kefla. 4 Dauntless Kale. 4 SS Khalifa. 4 SS2 Kale Khalifa. 4 SS Kale Universe 6 combination. 4 Further Destruction Champa. 4 E Supreme Kai. 4 Catastrophic Blow. 4 Sisters Determination. 4 Tragedy Overground. 4 SS Khalifa's Spirited Striker. 4 SS4 Broly Prismatic Burst. And 1 Baby Hachiyak. Alright, so the obvious thing is to burn your opponent for game with Catastrophic Blow. What's nice about this deck is that it, obviously ramps. Throw in some red, obviously you can do the red-blue thing. So what you're going to do is charge red, and then you're going to ramp blue, obviously, right? You're going to use your blue cards that ramp in this archetype, to ramp, right? And that's how you get blue. You only need 2 blue, so charge 3 red, ramp blue, and then you should have 3 red, 2 blue, which is what you'll need to play Catastrophic Blow. Make sure you have no battle cards in your battle area, right? Because you need a Goku. If you have a battle card, it has to be a Goku in order to play this. But you can play this if you have no battle card, therefore don't have a battle card when you try to play this, right? So you play this, right, and do your opponent 1 damage. That's the idea, right? Especially if your opponent is at 1 life, you can use this to finish them off. Especially if the reason they're at 1 life is because you use the almighty Super Saiyan 4 Broly. Since this deck ramps, we're going to take full advantage of that. Alright? So something typically you might just do 6 energy, might like ramp to 6 and then drop this with 6 markers. But optimally, you want 8 markers on this. I've played against a KO deck once, and there's actual gameplay of that where they were able to ramp up to 8. I was playing Hachiyak, and I got to 5 energy. They got to 8, so they were 3 energy ahead of me. So because of the ramping, right? So they were able to get to 8, right? Pretty much in 5 turns. So it's not impossible to ramp to 8, and then drop this with 8 markers, which means it will get a 40k boost, which means it'll be a 50k. So it'll be a 50k battle card unison on your turn. 50k is very powerful. It's 10k more. 10k more than a ultimate, right? So essentially, this is an ultimate. They can be splashed in any deck, especially a deck that can ramp, like this deck, for example, or SS4 Vegeta, right? You play this, make it really strong. So to me, this is the new Mirror Creator Absorb. So obviously, we're going to combine it with E Supreme Kai and Champa to get it to big numbers, so we can get that double strike to go through it and finish our opponent off that way, right? So that's one way of finishing your opponent off, or at least getting them down to 1. So you'll be able to, the following turn, Catastrophic Blow your opponent, because remember, you're not going to really have a battle card. You had a unison and a leader, so then you can play this on the following turn and burn your opponent for game, or play this the turn prior, right? Play this, burn your opponent for 1, right? Get them down to 1, or maybe down to 2 if that depends on the situation. Then the next turn, drop this, swing, and hopefully hit hard. Obviously, you'll always want your opponent to have 6 cards or less, because especially when you're playing something that has a high attack power, that goes tall, you normally want your opponent to have 6 or less cards. So I'm gonna go through some quick combo math for you. So if your opponent has 6 cards in the hands, at most they'll have 4 super combos, right? At most, they won't have no more than that, right? At most they have that. And optimally, you always want your opponent tapped out, so that's why we don't count the idea of 10Ks where you pay an energy for, right? We're just going straight 4 super combos. The last 2 cards from the 6 card hand will be 5Ks. Your opponent's tapped out, right? So no negate, right? No extra 10K because you paid an energy. No, it's just straight 0. Your opponent's has to pay 0 to combo, right? So at maximum 4 super combos, then 2 5Ks, right? So that's a total of 50 combo power out of a 6-card hand. Then we're going to assume that all super combos draw a card and gives them an extra 5K combo power, right? So that's an extra 15 on top of the 50, so that's 65K. 65K, add that to the leader's 15K, because we're assuming the leader's awakened, obviously, at this time. Should be. Then that's, so 65K, right, plus the 15K, that is 80K. So 80K power. So in order to hit your opponent, you need to be 80K or 85, right? So to hit your opponent, you're going to need to at least be 80K power. Now with, like I said, with 8 energy, you can get this to 50K. Then if you throw in an extra 10K, like the super count, for example, right, you get it to 60. The goal is to try to get it to 80, right, which means 20 more combo power on top of that, which shouldn't be that hard. You already have a base of 50K you're working with, so it wouldn't be that hard to add an extra 30 on top of that. That's 3 super combos, right? Something to keep in mind is when you play this, save your leader's ability to untap energy, because when it awakens, you untap 1 energy. So you tap out, right, to get this to 50, awaken your leader, draw a card, untap an energy. Hopefully what you draw is a super combo, right, or something similar to that. In this deck, yes, there's no super combo, but you get my point. The idea is if you have extra power, you have extra power. But we do have E Supreme Kind and this further instruction Champa, so you can get a 10K boost plus, double strike, right? So this, in case your opponent has 2 life, right, then you can get this to right off the bat, get this to a 60K double strike just with a Champa and 8 energy, right? So you can easily get this to 60K double strike, and all you have to do is get it to 80K just to increase your chances of hitting. And that's if your opponent has that type of hand, right? A hand where they have 4 super combos, 2 5Ks, and they just drew 3 5Ks from this, not 3, 4 5Ks from the 4 super combos. So actually that's an extra 5. Sorry, I did the math wrong. You get an extra 20K, so that's an extra 5. So they'll be at 85, which means you need not only 30 extra, you need 35 extra. So with Champa, you already get to 60, so you'll need 25 extra combo power, which is like essentially 5 5Ks or 2 super combos on a 5K. You get that idea. So sorry that I messed up the math. I was thinking of 3 when it's 4. It's 4 super combos, therefore you get an extra 20K potential combo power. So that'd be 60, yeah, plus 70, 70 plus 10, 85, yeah. So the point is that they have 6 cards or 6 cards at most. They can combo and get their about a leader up to 85K off. So the idea is you want to get to 85, but it shouldn't be that hard for you to get even higher numbers, right? But that's what you have to think about when you're using this card. Of course, if your opponent has less than 6 cards, like if you're using some hand destruction, that's awesome. Obviously, I'm going to be putting this in a lot of decks because there's certain decks that are really good at reducing your opponent's hand size. So when you play this for big, at a big, for a lot of mana or energy, and make it big, aka make it tall, it has a higher chance of hitting because your opponent's hand's so small and he's so big. Yeah, that's what she said, right? So enough of the TED talk on Super Saiyan 4 Broly Unison. Obviously, like I said, he's the new Mirror Create Absorb, so have at it, guys. Go crazy. Do some stuff with it. And guys and gals, right? I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Obviously, you can ramp, so you can obviously play Tragedy Overground, which can board wipe as well as floodgate your opponent out of playing 4 costs and higher. We obviously have 2 types of Kefla. We got a 5-drop and a 4-drop, which you can play out with the effect of Khalifa, Spirited Striker. Spirited Striker can be used to obviously ramp through her effects. This Khalifa and this Khalifa, by doing their active main pain 2, you put them under the leader, and then at the end of the turn, the leader will ramp you with whatever card is under it, and that's how you get your ramp, is through these cards being under the leader and being put into your energy area instead of staying there, so that you can ramp up. Obviously, this is your floodgate negate, so you can negate, and basically, it's basically your flying nimbus, violent rays for the deck. So that's the purpose she serves. Free blocker, you can play it for free if you have a Khalifa in play. So we do have a 1-drop and a 2-drop, so you could could get this out sooner. And since Kale and Khalifa and these are Keflas and they have Union Patara, but this one specifically, there was another one that I used to have in here, but this one specifically, 3 red, and you just need a Khalifa and a Kale. The colors doesn't matter, just a Khalifa and a Kale, and 3 red energy in order to Union Patara this. So this just gets you another Kale. So this is a Kale, this is a Kale, and these are Khalifas. So you have 8 Khalifas, 8 Kales, and kept saying Khalifa. Yeah, it is Khalifa. You have 8 Keflas, 8 Khalifas, and 8 Kales. 8, 8, 8. All right. So there's a balance there. And you have in 12 of your Universe 6 battle cards are red, and 12 of your Universe 6 are blue. So you see just the irony of the balance of color and numbers and whatnot. Keep in mind, you can't play into the battle area your Champas and East Supreme Kais because they're not. They're definitely this Champa definitely not Universe 6. He should have been, but he's not Universe 6. But obviously we use these to combo, so shouldn't have to tell you not to play them in your battle area, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But obviously these are just to combo. Here's another floodgate. It's another flying nimbus basically. So you essentially have 8 flying nimbuses, essentially 8 ways of floodgate protecting yourself. Treasure, we're gonna already mention it. She has the ability that active main -3 if your leader card is blue Kale, which it is of course, right? If you have 5 or more energy, you may place this card under your leader card. If you do, play up to 1 Kefla card with 30k power or less from your deck, then shuffle your deck. And it doesn't care about color, so you could play blue, yellow, red Keflas, blue Keflas, whatever. Their cost don't even matter as long as their power is 30k or less. You can play them out. So we got a 25k here, dual attack, and we got a 20k here, double strike with the auto that once per turn at the end of the battle after this card attack, if you have 4 or less cards in your hands, switch this card to active mode. So technically it has dual attack. So it's 20k, double strike, dual attack, essentially. So it's always good to have the ability to attack more than once because you never know. Of course, this having the ability to attack twice is useful because you attack with it and you can Champa and then restand and then attack with it, Champa again, right? You know what I mean? It's all about trying to get as much damage as possible, get your opponent down to 2 and finish them off, or get them down to 1 and then just blow them away with Catastrophic Blow. So Kale, Catastrophic Blow. Really does have another effect. Obviously it has the auto, where if your opponent attacks your leader, you can remove as many markers off this card as you want for that one battle. And you get 5k for power for each marker you remove. So if you remove 2 markers, you get 10k power. If you remove 4 markers, you get 20k power. You know what I mean? So typically, like I said, if you play this for like 8 mana, 8 energy, you'll have 8 markers on here. So if you were to remove all 8 markers, right, you can easily give your leader for 1 attack, right, an extra 40k boost to your leader. So your leader on the awakened side, 40, would be 55k. So you can get your leader to 55k just by removing all the markers off this, if this so happens to have 8 markers on it, as an example. So it's nice that it has that added ability. And then we have Baby Hatchet. Of course, if you have 3 or more energy, you can counter, negate an attack, play this card. Your opponent can't attack for the rest of the turn. And if your leader's mono blue, which it is, you can discard a card in order to play this card for free. So of course we're going to have it in there to, guarantee we get that extra turn. Especially if we try to go game for game with this, with Broly, and we didn't succeed in winning, right? Going for game that turn. Alright, then we'll drop Baby Hatchery on our opponent's turn and try again the next turn. Same goes for you play, like I said, you play Catastrophic Blow. Let's say your opponent is at 2 life, you play Catastrophic Blow. Oh, mine. By the way, it's errated. I thought originally was limited to 1, but it was actually errated to limit 1. That means you can only play 1 a turn, but you can own 4 in the deck. So you'll play 1 one turn and obviously play 1 another turn. I mean, you already was going to do that anyway, but there's a deck Invoker that can obviously play multiple copies a turn. But now it's limited to 1, so they can't play multiple a turn. But we're only going to play one of them a turn anyway. So you play this, right? Like I said, play this. Hit your opponent 1, so they'll still be at 1 life. I mean, so they'll be at 1 life because you have no battle cards, right? Bang, hit them for 1 with this, and then end your turn, right? Your opponent tries to attack, blah blah blah. Drop Baby Hatchet, get that extra turn, and play the second Catastrophic Blow. Simple concept, easy peasy lemon squeezy. One of my favorite cards. I like this. It's a really good burn card. It's just that not many decks I can have. I can have blue in it. This is one of the decks that that can actually easily play this. So I'm like, yes, please. Finally, a deck that I can just easily throw this in there. I use this as like a tech card in a couple other decks before, where the idea was like the deck was mostly blue, but I had like obviously Champa and East Supreme cards, so like I could charge them to try to get the red, or the deck was red, but maybe I teched in some blue stuff, or maybe I had like some because it itself is a red-blue card, right? It's already multicolor, so it already gives you blue by itself. So if you charge 2 of them, right, in the first 2 turns of the game, and then the rest of the game you're just charging red, right, and play your red deck, then at any moment you can just play with the third copy of this card for for 2 blue, 3 red, and bang, hit your opponent for 1 for game. So that's why it did take it a while back, but now we got more multicolor stuff, which is nice, and decks can mix match, like this deck for example, how you can have red Universe 6 and blue Universe 6 in the same deck. So of course, why not Catastrophic Blow? And that's the end of the video.